and they brought in a lip reader, and they brought themselves a bullshit lip reader to lip read that Mustafa. By the way, the lip reader is not saying that Mustafa is arguing.
He's not even saying there's an argument.
Okay, he says at one point, Dorsey said, "I want to get out of the car."
Dorothy appears to say, "I want to get out of the car."
Okay, look, you know what's really funny about what the lip reader is saying? If you rewind the dash camera like literally 30 seconds, you see that Mustafa and Dorothy are passing back and forth a cigarette. If you forward this dash camera, literally 30 seconds, you see Mustafa and Dorsey are passing back and forth a cigarette. They're passing a cigarette like 6 times.
Why are they not talking about the cigarette?
They're terrified.
The lip reader doesn't seem to acknowledge that there's a cigarette back and forth.
Because they did a toxicology on Mustafa. They did a toxicology on Dorothy. And Dorothy and Mustafa, blood alcohol, 0. No alcohol and no drugs in Mustafa's system. Look, Dorothy has cancer and she's smoking hemp. And on dash camera, it shows that she's passing back and forth hemp with Mustafa. So you seal off the dash camera. You cut this dash camera. You mute this dash camera. You hire yourself a lip reader. You cut this dash camera where it doesn't show where Mustafa and Dorsey are passing back and forth a hemp cigarette, only to bring yourself a lip reader and says, Dorsey says, my lip reader is telling you that Dorsey says, I want to get out of the car. What the fuck are we talking about? And then you open the case file. You find out that digital forensic says, we have the audio.
They have the audio.
It's been 2.5 years. Finally, there's a judge order to hire an independent expert to go in and inspect and download the metadata off the SD card.
You know what I find funny is as soon as the judge ordered the SD card from the dash cam get examined, the prosecutor all of a sudden came in and says, well, I want to bring in my expert too. I want to bring in my expert to also take a look at this dash cam. Wait a minute.
For 2.5 years, you've been saying there is no audio. You've been hiding the document inside the case file that your digital forensic
2.5 years
admit that there is audio. Now you want to throw your lip reader out the window.
She also,
you want to throw him under the bus.
She also went to the media.
I want to get an independent expert. Look, I want to download this SD card.
She also went to the media. She went as far as going to the media and publishing that this dash cam has no audio.
Oh, that's right.
Because they felt at the time, Judge Weimer was protecting her. The judge wasn't going to grant this order to examine the SD card. They had it was an open and shut case. No audio. No audio. That's what they told us. No audio. And now all of a sudden, Judge Weimer is saying, when we get the audio, we have to make sure the family doesn't get it.
What do you mean?
By the way, is he really talking about the family or is he talking about Mustafa?
Wait a minute. Hold on now. You're terrified that the family is going to get it? Wait a minute. If the family gets it, you're claiming that the family is going to release the sealed material. Wait a minute.
Wouldn't that support their narrative?
Wouldn't that support your narrative, the prosecutor narrative? I mean, you already made this case public. You told the community that they're arguing. You got yourself a lip reader and you said, I have a lip reader. What do you mean? What does that mean right now? Like, what do you mean you're putting a protective order against the family? Oh, wait a minute. The audio is going to come out.
It's not even about the audio.
It's going to show that there is no argument inside the car. Now you're terrified that the family is going to release it and is going to hold you accountable.
It's not even about the audio.
It's going to show that the county has been lying for 2.5 years.
It's not even about the audio. He doesn't want anybody to find out that there is audio, that they got the audio, and that there is no fucking argument.
I mean, here is my problem with Mustafa's defense attorney right now, the lawyer, Brad Haywood. You have a judge order to hire an independent expert and download the audio. And the government gave you money to hire an independent expert.
And he did.
And he did. Investa. He hired Investa.
So where is the audio? And the county
has hired Doug. They hired the prosecutor, Sarah Sammy, went to this individual and they hired their independent expert, and Mustafa's defense attorney hired his independent expert. Why is it when Mustafa calls his lawyer, he doesn't give him an answer? He doesn't tell him, did we go in and download the audio? Are we schedule it next week, in 3 weeks, in a month? Why are you not being straightforward with your client? Now, I call him. He's not giving me an answer. He's telling me that, wait a minute, we're going to rely on Doug, the prosecutor independent expert. Wait a minute. Hold on now. I thought you told the judge and the government gave you money to hire Investa, your own independent expert. And then just when he got done, he's telling me, we don't want the same investigators that falsified this case, Robert Drum and Investigator Davis, to influence this independent expert in any way. So I'm going to make sure,
they did Stephen Keene,
like what they did when Stephen Keene, the independent expert, when he was reconstructing Mustafa's vehicle two and a half years ago, and he said we have to make sure and have things in place that these investigators not there so they don't influence Doug, the independent experts. And I'm like, great, you're already thinking ahead. Mustafa's defense secretary is already thinking ahead. I didn't even have to tell him. And then I asked him, wait a minute, Brad, what about your independent expert? How could you trust the prosecutor independent expert? Where is your independent expert? Didn't the government give you money to hire your independent expert? I mean, why are you relying on a prosecutor that's been lying, who she's hiring her independent expert that 100% has a bias?
Obviously.
Where is your independent expert? He's like, oh, I think he already went in. Oh, wait. I got to check my email. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that your independent expert went in by himself without you being there, without having you safeguard the investigators that may be influenced? And
weren't they all arguing about who's going to be there?
I don't understand. In court, they were arguing. They're like, we all have to be there. The chain of custody for the SD card, we all want to be there. Why are you bullshitting me? You just gave me two different answers in the same conversation. And
just remember, he was instructed not to tell the family what the findings are.
Forget the family. Forget me. Why are you not telling your client, Mustafa?
That's a very good question.
Why are you not updating your client?
Why are you putting your client in the dark? Why are you keeping your client in the dark?
And you ask him to trust you? How could he trust you when you keep him in the fucking dark? I mean, like, these are valid questions.
Are you working with the prosecutors?
I mean, here's the problem. You're pushing us to think that you're working with a prosecutor. We don't want to think that. And we're doing our best to avoid that you're just another Casey Stephen, that you're another Blake Weiner, that you're a lawyer that's working for the prosecutor. We're doing our best. We have a really good relationship with Brad Haywood. And Mustafa has a great relationship with Brad Haywood, but you're pushing us to
this process,
think that you're working with a prosecutor.
This process.
Why are you keeping your client in the fucking dark?
This process where the judge is sealing off material information in this case. You've already come to the media. You've already went to the public and you've said there's no audio in this dash camera. And now you want to seal off what findings come forward. We know for a fact Chad Mason tampered with that dash camera.
He already admitted to it.
He was reprimanded for it. Okay? He was reprimanded for it. For violating chain of custody, for taking a dash cam without a warrant, and tampering with the files.
That's what he admitted for. He admitted on the record that he violated the chain of custody. He violated the department policy. He took possession of the dash camera, went back to his car, downloaded the files. 2 days later, notified the Commonwealth attorney. So prosecutor Sarah Sammy can't say that she didn't know that he violated department policy, chain of custody. 2 days later, decided to get a warrant. What are we talking about? Well, today we have a dash camera that has no audio. It's cut before impact, has 17 frames missing from inside of the vehicle. And they want to have a conversation about, well, let's look at Mustafa's reaction. You fucking took 17 frames from Mustafa's reaction while the camera outside is still rolling. What are you talking about?
By the way, I'll just add digital forensics.
Do you see what I'm talking about
digital
here?
Forensics said there is audio.
There you go.
So why didn't Sarah Sammy...
So they can't come out and say there's no audio now.
Why didn't she probe into this dash cam issue?
2.5 years ago.
2.5 years ago. Why did she not probe in? When we look at body cam of Robert Drum, he's talking to Rexing, the dash cam company. Not once in a 10-minute conversation does he mention, oh, hey, by the way, I'm missing the audio from this dash. Not once. I'm looking at 809 pages of discovery, and not a single page says there is no audio. Not a single page. Matter of fact, I have a letter from Zymus, Kathy Zymus of Digital Forensics with the Prince William County Police, who took this dash camera and analyzed it, and she says there is audio. So how could you come to the public and tell the community there's no audio to this dash cam. How could you do that? And then for the judge today to come out and say, if there is audio, when they do get the audio, we're not going to tell the community.
We're going to seal it from the family.
We're not going to be transparent. We're not going to inform the public of our lies, of our mistake. You fucked up. You fucked up. You lied to the community. And I think now it's time for you to face the consequences.
Shouldn't Mustafa's attorney fight the protective order?
100%.
Why is
there a protective order to begin with?
Why is Mustafa's defense attorney, Brad Hayward, not saying, why is there a protective order on my client's dash camera?
Look, the real reason why there's a protective order is because there are so many lies, there are so many tampering of evidence, tampering with witnesses, abuse of children being done by the police, and the prosecutors know it. That's why the prosecutor went to a judge and she says, Your Honor, I want this case file sealed because if somebody's going to dig into this, they're going to find out that there's no case here. This whole thing is built on lies. Okay? I mean, look, just take a look at Mustafa's car. Okay? Look at his vehicle and what they've done to it. Okay? If you look at that car and you look at what it looks like today at the police impound, by the way, which they have an obligation to preserve evidence. I just read the law, Brady versus Maryland. By law, when there is a fatality in a motor vehicle accident, by law, you have to preserve the vehicle as is.
So evidence showed that the police department crushed and staged Mustafa's vehicle.
As is, by the way. Look, the only time they're allowed to cut any piece of the car is when they're extracting someone, when someone's life is in danger. However, you have photos at the impound where they're chopping away at the vehicle, which they have an obligation by law. By law, that's exculpatory evidence.